Good morning, Programming One class. This is Mr. O'Neill, and it is Tuesday, April 14th. We are back from spring break. So I just want to give you guys a little update here as we close out marking period three. You guys should have all this information already, but I just want to do a little reminder since we have been away for a little while. Every assignment for marking period three is now past the due date for Programming One. That does not mean that nothing can be turned in this week, but that does mean everything that's coming in this week will be marked late and is subject to the 10% late penalty. Okay. So you guys should have lists in my previous announcements of what is still available to be turned in. It's certainly not everything for marking period three. I do want to remind you guys that the deadline for that stuff that can still be submitted is the 16th. It is not Friday the 17th. It is Thursday the 16th. Work that is submitted on Friday the 17th will not be accepted for a grade. Okay, so if you still have some zeros floating out there on assignments that are still able to be submitted, please make sure they're in by Thursday at midnight. I will be grading on Friday, not accepting work on Friday. I'm pretty sure I have to get my final grades in by Friday. So that's where we are on marking period three, guys. I did want to give a little update on people who are using REPL on how I want that information submitted. Now that I've had to go through and grade a couple of those with the copy and pasted source code and the link, there's a better way to do that. Okay. So if you guys are using REPL, when you're done with your program and you're ready to submit it, when you're on the website, if you are looking in the upper left hand corner where it lists your files and folders, you should also have three little dots. And if you click on those three little dots next to the files and folders icons, you should have a option to download as a zip file. Okay, so if you download as a zip file, it's going to give you a zip file that contains all of the files associated with your REPL, and that will include your .cpp source file. Okay, so instead of having you guys copy and paste, I do still want you to give me a link to your REPL. But with you guys downloading that source file, you don't have to copy and paste all your code in, and that's easier for me to just open it and run it. Okay, so please, again, for those people working on REPL, I do not want you to copy and paste your code into a text document or into a Word document. I want you to use those three little buttons to download your zip file with all the files associated with the program, then rename the CPP file. It's probably going to default to main. Name it the name of the project, and then please just submit that CPP file. That's going to make it easier for me to grade and for that whole process. So that's specific for people with REPL. And while I am talking about REPL, that unfortunately brings me to the downside of this announcement, which is the fact that since we have been going through this distance learning process in the last 2 weeks, myself, Miss Roberts, and Miss Petter have found more incidents of cheating than we have found pretty much all year, at least through the entire start of the third quarter. Okay, so please know that myself, Miss Petter, and Miss Roberts are talking to each other. We are sharing programs. We all have access to all the files that have been submitted by all of the Programming One classes. So it's not necessarily just a matter of you turning in something similar to someone else in your class. If you turned in something else similar to another class or a student in another class, that also might be found out and might result in you getting a zero for the assignment. That happened to more than a few people over the last couple of weeks. So again, I am very concerned with cheating on REPL because again, unless you're paying for a private account, all your information is public. For those of you who have sent me links to your REPL accounts, if I just click in the code and start typing, it'll just automatically copy the entire program over to my REPL account, and I can just edit it however I want, or just take your code and submit that. Again, if we do have people submitting duplicate codes and stuff like that, we do not have a choice than to give you guys both zeros. So if you are using REPL and your code is posted there publicly, it's now going to be my suggestion that you guys use REPL to work, and then when you're done working for the time being, you delete the program off of REPL. You would have to copy your source code into a text file or into a Word document or a Google Doc or something like that. But by you guys leaving those REPL files up there, you are basically leaving yourself wide open to another student coming in, taking your work, and then putting you both in the position that you could get zeros on an assignment. So if you are working on REPL, please, I'm not requiring that you guys do this, but it is in your best interest to delete your programs when you are not actively working on them so they cannot be accessed by the public. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Again, no new content this week. Just the deadlines for everything for marking period three, and then we'll start new content on Monday the 20th. I will see you guys later.